Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everyone's having a good Easter because I am not. The title for the clip is exactly what happened. I was robbed in the Upper West Side. I wasn't held up by gunpoint or anything like that. No one pulled out a knife on me or anything like that, but my bike was stolen. And if you know anything about this channel or who I am, I do Uber Eats, and my electric bike was essential to my job. So this has kind of been a big deal. That's actually why a lot of my videos have kind of slowed down in the last few weeks. Just because I've kind of been processing all this and then figuring out other things I can do for some type of work. And to make things even worse, last night, while I was debating whether or not I would even make this video, I'm walking home from a deli and a bunch of kids just ride by on two electric bikes and punch me in the face. It was crazy. Before I even knew what had happened, they were like down the block. It was insane. And I feel like we have to have some sort of talk about what is going on in this city. But first things first, I actually started a GoFundMe to help replace the bike. I didn't necessarily want to do it, but a lot of friends told me, hey, Phil, give it a shot. People support for those types of things, and it wouldn't really hurt, so I decided to give it a shot. If you guys want to donate to the GoFundMe, please make sure to click the link in the description. That'll take you right there, and anything helps. If it's $1, if it's 50 cents, if it's $5, whatever, that would really mean a lot. Back to the show. I mean, they're saying on the news that crime is actually down, but I find that to be impossible considering the fact that 2 crimes have happened to me in the last 2 weeks. And not just that, but I know plenty of people who personally have had things happen to them in the last month. I'm not the only one who's randomly got punched in the face. I have a friend who randomly got punched in the face. I have a friend who has another friend who got slashed in the face with a knife with somebody riding by on a bike. There's a lot of chaos going on in New York City right now, and I just don't know the source. You know, a lot of people have been talking about immigration and pointing the finger that way, and I've made videos on this channel about the immigration crisis in New York City, and I know that Eric Adams has also just enacted a curfew for a lot of the immigrant people who are being put up in hotels and stuff like that, but I feel like something else has to be there. I'm not saying that there aren't immigrant people doing crime, but the fact is that most of them really just want to work a job and figure out a life for themselves. Plenty of them are desperate, and you have to acknowledge that, but realistically, I think a lot of people just want to be left alone. I think the other things that add to the crisis of what New York is going through is the mentally ill that have just been left in the streets. A lot of people don't know this, but during COVID, because of the new laws that were enacted about, you know, the disease and spreading everything, a lot of mental institutions released a lot of their patients and they never got them back. So now you have these people just roaming the streets who have no idea where they are. They have no idea who they are, and they're attacking people, they're shouting at people, they're chasing people down the street. I've seen it multiple times. I feel like everybody who's watching this video who lives in New York City has probably seen it at least once. In fact, you guys probably heard that story about the mentally ill guy that dressed up like Michael Jackson and told everybody he was gonna like kill them or something, and then a guy actually ran up behind him, a military veteran ran up behind him and grabbed him and strangled him to death. And that's a tragedy. That's awful. I personally think the guy who choked him should have to do some time, but none of that would have happened if that person, if that victim was getting the correct care that they deserve. And in this city, I feel like there's a lot of public assistance, I will say that, but at the same time, they definitely don't give mentally ill people the care that they need a lot of times. And a lot of people slip through the cracks, and that causes very big issues. And I think that's a major factor. And when you mix that in with immigration and how many people who are desperate to just survive, and then you have all these mentally ill people as well, it can cause a lot of chaos. And then on top of that, you just have bad kids. On top of that, you just have bad kids, you know, because of the internet. I think a lot of kids don't see the outside world as real. And they're always looking for some sort of viral moment or some way to embarrass somebody on camera, or even if the camera's not on. That's just the mentality they have. Now, I will say, like in the 90s, the 80s, the 2000s, the 2010s, there were always kids rolling around causing mischief. In fact, there were probably more kids rolling around causing mischief because more kids were just outside. But I think the constant lack of respect that kids have now is something that you'll see whether or not kids are violent. And so the fact that all of them have a lack of respect, it causes them to do more shit. Listen, I'm somebody who's been in New York for almost 15 years. When I first moved here in 2010, things were just starting to get okay. I remember seeing a lot of things, a lot of different bad stuff at that time. You know, really bad gang activity. Where I lived was like a Crip neighborhood. Right next to my house was a crack house, so like lots of gang members were there all the time. There was all sorts of crazy shootings. This is in Flatbush in like 2010. It used to happen all the time. But nowadays, I don't know what it is, but I feel like we're slipping back into that time period of things being rough again. And I honestly do not know what the solution is in the city to figure these things out, but let me know what you guys think in the comments. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe, and let me know what you guys think the solution to all of this is, because I'm confused, I'm tired, I'm angry, and I just needed to make this video to vent. But I love you guys. Thank you so much, and please make sure to donate to the GoFundMe if you could. Link right in the description. I'll see you later. Peace.